see. Let's see. So I said start. It shows me that we started, and let's see what it shows on my screen here. It's still showing meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. Let me check and see if we are live. Okay. I always check on my, yeah, we are live. Awesome. That was beautiful and very, very quick. So hello, everyone. It's Tuesday. It's Brave Live Show. And as always, I'm bringing amazing guests here. And my star of the show today is no exception to the rule. We have an incredible Kornelia Stephanie. And I'm actually going to ask her to introduce herself because she is amazing. She's fabulous. You are in for a treat. So as you join in, you might be having questions, and I will be checking it on my phone to make sure that I did not miss any questions from any of you. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Kornelia. Kornelia, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. It's such a pleasure. And we just recently met face-to-face on Zoom, and I just knew that I had to bring you on because your mission is so incredible. And this is what the Brave Life Show is about. It's about the women entrepreneurs who can come in, who can be real and raw, who can speak from their heart, who can actually talk without being afraid of judgment or anything else, and who can help others to see life and business from a different perspective. So Kornelia, please tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are as a human being. I really would love to hear more.
Oh, thank you so much, Katya, for having me, and welcome to, also hello to your audience. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you today. And I want to thank you so much for setting up this platform and doing this good work so that more women can come up and shine their light and inspire and share their brilliance and their essence with humanity. I want to thank you so much for doing this work because, as you said, brave. It takes bravery for us to really fully shine our light out. And that's really truly who I am as a human being. Is I love shining out the truth. I love shining out the truth. And so that's why, it's because I love it so much, because that's my passion. The work has always been to release and let go of everything that's not the truth. And the conditioning that we were born into as a humanity, right? Of not being good enough, not measuring up, not being smart enough, not being successful enough, not being pretty enough, not being worthy enough, not having enough money. All these things, they are absolutely just not true. And so my passion and my joy is to empower and inspire women and men to stand for and shine out the light and the truth of who they are, and not settle for anything less, than the truth. Because the truth is, we're so capable, we're so worthy, we're so amazing, we're so brilliant, we're so smart. That's the truth. All of us are. It's only our own judgments and our own thoughts that we have about ourselves, our own sabotages that we need to overcome so that we can step into the truth of who we are. I've had a very, very challenging beginning in my life, and I used to be a suicidal soul. I had to overcome suicide. I was sexually abused as a child. I never had my needs met as a child. There were a lot of things. I was a drug addict. There were a lot of things that I have overcome. And by the time, I was in my mid-30s, I wanted to end my life more than one time. So it really, truly is a miracle to be here today and shine this light out. Because nowadays, it's been over 20 something years now, that nowadays, that thought would never even cross my mind again, no matter how difficult life gets, no matter how challenging, in whatever situation I would find myself in. But the thought to want to harm myself has been removed. That has been completely removed, because once you know the truth, right, you can't go back. You just cannot go back. And so that's the work that I do. I have my own successful coaching company, and I work with others, as a business success coach, but then also as a media mogul. I have a transformation talk radio network out of Seattle, Washington. And I do a lot of different things with people, private coaching, but then also shining light out with people that are just, with women specifically, that are ready to bring their voice, their passion, and their unique essence out onto a platform to be seen and to be heard, much like what you're doing here, just on the radio.
Yeah, that's incredible. So if somebody is watching right now, right? So, and if somebody is watching and maybe they are where you were, and I can totally relate, and I don't know if you knew about me or not, but I actually, over 20 years ago, I was in very deep clinical depression, and I did try to harm myself. I did try to commit suicide. So we didn't even know that we have that connection, right? So it's always how the soul meets. There is always something there energetically, and you just feel you need to continue this relationship, right? So in whatever capacity. But if somebody is watching and listening right now, and by the way, I know there is a couple of people watching, guys, please ask questions if you feel like. I will keep tap on the questions. Don't be shy, because we would love, this is why we're here. We would love for you to answer anything that you want to ask. So if somebody is there right now, what advice would you give them? What can they do right now that they can learn that they are brilliant, that they're more than enough, that everything that they are, it's incredible. It's just the way that they were created, right? So what can they do right now to help them to get through?
If someone is in a place where they're talking about, are you asking if somebody is in a place that they want to commit suicide?
Somewhere maybe they, well, not necessarily. It could be the suicide, could be just in a very dark place at the rock bottom, could be anything. Take it anywhere you feel you want to take it.
Yeah. If someone is in a place where they want to commit suicide, the advice that I have is that it's really truly not true that you want to commit suicide. What I find that's true is that you really just want to kill the pain. This is what I found for myself, is that, and I invite you to really take a look at where you are too, is to really ask yourself that question. Do you really want to die? Do you really want to harm yourself? Do you really want to hurt yourself? Is that really where you want to go? Because when we go a little bit deeper, and when we ask those questions, we find out that we really just want the pain to go away. And the advice that I have for the pain is to really sit and feel what it feels like to die, and release that without taking any harmful action, but to just sit in the pain and to surrender to the higher power, whatever your conditioning is, whatever your belief is. I found for myself that I surrendered to source, and I asked for source to let me feel the truth, to let me know that there is a greater power there, so that I can feel it and that I can know. So I would really invite anyone to just really go in and ask themselves these important questions. And if you are really at a place where you're wanting to take action, then call somebody that you can speak to, so that you can be heard by somebody about your pain. And because really that's what it is. Life has become too unbearable, right, to want to go on. And I just want to tell you that if you're in that place, the thing is that you do, once this energy gets moved out of the way, you didn't come here to commit suicide. You came here to rise above that. You came here to transcend that. It's just that the old part, the old pain, all that old stuff, that's the part that wants to die so that the new you can be born again. And that's really the truth. So,
Yeah. I love what you said, and a few things there is, first of all, asking for help and reaching out is very, very important, right? But also getting and really looking inside on that pain and asking for guidance, not necessarily from somebody else, but asking for guidance from the higher power, right? So whatever you believe in the universe, you believe in divine, you believe in source, you believe in God, it doesn't matter. Really asking for help and releasing this pain and almost giving it away and say, okay, here, right? So I know that it can be released. And what is my next step and what can I do? Thank you. That was so beautifully said. Beautifully said. Yes, thank you.
because you know what, the one thing is, like how so many suicide is an epidemic now. And actually, that's the reason why I want to talk about it openly, is because we want to talk about the elephant in the room. We want to really talk about, so many young kids are nowadays, they are, committing suicide. It's more in the millennial stages where they just don't realize that they want to end their life because they don't fit in. They don't feel like they fit into this chaotic world. And the truth is that we don't fit in. We were never born to fit in. We were born to create new. We were born to create new. But by all means, reach out to someone and know that you did not come here to harm yourself. You didn't come here to harm anyone else. You didn't come here for that. That there is so much love and beauty in your soul, that your soul came here. The soul embodiment that you're experiencing now is so that you can be released from this burden once and for all, because that's what it's about right now. It's about our soul embodiment, and that we can now go from living a life of intense pain to living a life of intense pleasure.
Yes. So how is that? So you experience both, right? So you, like, from what you shared, and thank you so much for being vulnerable, and thank you so much for speaking up. Because not a lot of people, and this is why I created this platform, not a lot of people want to talk about these topics, right? Suicide, mental illness, and so on and so forth. People shy away. There is a big stigma about that as well, right? So, and thank you. That's first of all for bringing it up. But then you've been on both spectrums, right? So you've been living in this tremendous pain, and you're living in this amazing pleasure, life of pleasure and happiness and joy and bliss. So did it happen overnight?
No, it did not. It did not happen overnight. The last time that I wanted to commit suicide was on September 17th of 1993. And that was the massive surrender. And from that, after that experience, it took years of, it really did. It took years of being committed and dedicated to the allowing the higher power, the grace, the faith, to show itself for me time and time and time again. And that was the beautiful thing. That was what it was all about. It was for me to allow the divine source, the energy, to make way for me so that I can believe in something that's greater than my human suffering. And it has taken years of a dedicated work to really look at my core wounds and look at the places where I felt abandonment, where I felt betrayal, where I felt not worthy, not good enough, where I felt victimized, where I felt shame, so much shame of really fully claiming my full on power as a divine being, as a woman who is here to do great things in the world, to really fully take all of that on. That took a while. It took a while, and it doesn't happen overnight. But the beautiful thing is about our day today, our time on this planet today, is that it doesn't have to take as long as it used to take. You know, nowadays we can sit with a coach, we can sit with a counselor, we can sit with someone, and when we put our intention and really are in alignment with that, we're ready to break free. That's what happens. It happens a lot faster than you think. And if you're finding yourself at a time right now, which I find many people are, there's so much moving happening, so much movement happening, because we are moving into a greater level of living and being, a higher vibrational way of living and being. And that has to happen first from the inside. So we have to release all of those negative emotions, the negative, the mental beliefs, the limiting beliefs. And we have to release all of that and let go, so that we can bring our physical body up into a higher vibrational way of living and being, of what it is that we came here to do. That's really what it is.
And when you saying, because you know what, I want to kind of break it down for the people who are listening right now. What does it mean to you specifically, because it's different for everyone, to live in a higher vibration, in a higher power, with a connecting with a higher consciousness? What does it mean to you specifically?
So my path has been to consciously walk with my shadow. And my shadow has been that of not good enough, not worthy, shame, abandonment, all those parts where I really didn't love myself, where I really wasn't, you know, where all those parts that needed to be loved free, which is my mantra. Everything wants to be loved, and everything wants to be loved free. And so that's one part. And then the other part is my truth, the highest part of my soul expression, the highest part. And that part is walking with my shadow and walking with my divinity at the same time. And so every day it's a practice, every single day, to keep reaching for that higher vibration, to keep reaching for that higher thought. And I have a challenge for your audience today, a 21-day challenge with no negative self-talk. No negative self-talk for 21 days, to practice and begin practicing that now. Because one thing that's true is that we think anywhere between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts per day. 85% of those thoughts are negative thoughts, and those are the same thoughts that we thought yesterday. So it's really important that once we realize that, is that those negative thoughts that were programmed into the subconscious that are you know, running the show. And that's why we want to make everything conscious. So when you're saying to me, what does it mean to move into a higher vibration? It really means to get conscious on what your thoughts are and what you're thinking about. And would you be willing to practice a more loving, a more nurturing, a more sweeter talk towards yourself than the same way that you would for other people? Because our bodies respond to how we think. It's scientifically proven that our bodies respond to how we think. So if we're thinking thoughts like, how stupid am I? Or you're never going to be good enough, or you don't, you know, whatever these thoughts are, if we think that way about ourselves, then we're going to create realities, situations that provide evidence for that. But if we practice every day and think loving thoughts of, I'm so beautiful, I'm so amazing, I'm a genius, I'm so wonderful, I love myself, I adore myself, I'm confident. If we think thoughts like that, I've come such a long way, I've done such a great job, I'm doing such a great job, I'm wonderful, I'm a great human being, I'm a wonderful human being. I am worthy beyond measure. These are all truths that I'm saying to you that everybody is. This isn't just me, but we have to listen to the truth. We have to listen to the truth, and we have to, you know, be willing to change the negative self-talk, which is the challenge. 21 days, no negative top.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So you're already ready for some challenge for them. I am loving it. Thank you. So when you talk about consciousness, being conscious, the first step, I believe, for anyone who is not familiar and maybe never done this work is to start being aware of your thoughts. Because what Kornelia is saying, it's scientifically proven. There is massive amounts of research done. So it might sound woo to you, but there is a lot of science behind it. And what you're thinking, your thoughts create reality, right? So and there is a certain way they do, because thoughts create feelings, and feelings creates actions or no actions, and actions create results or no results, or actions, no actions, right? So, and that's create your reality. But the first step is definitely being aware of what you're thinking. And this 21 days challenge, and thank you for inviting them to do that, is actually will help you to be really aware of your thoughts and to stop thinking those negative thoughts for 21 days. So that will help you to create this great foundation of being aware. And then after that, you can build up on that foundation. So that's beautiful. Totally, totally beautiful. So awesome.
Yes, I just want to offer to your audience that if you want support, I have a 21-day guided everyday, it's a 10-minute audio course that will support you in rewriting that storyline of I'm not good enough to I am worthy. I'm not loved to I am confident. So I can offer that to you. It's $21 for 21 days. It's $1 a day, and it's a perfect support tool to help you release those negative emotions, to help you, release those negative thoughts, and start listening to what the truth is. Because somebody said to me recently, Kornelia, you don't realize how hard it is to start thinking the positive thoughts. And I said, well, yes, I do realize, because that's how I, discovered it myself, that I was doing that to myself. But I know it's possible. And that's why I'm telling you that you may not be there, but it is somewhere that definitely that you can practice, and you can get there by only thinking loving thoughts of yourself. And what the great thing that happens when you do that, when you absolutely, everybody on the audience today, make a commitment right now from this moment forward that you absolutely refuse to do one thing. Refuse this. Draw the line in the sand and refuse to judge yourself from this moment forward. Refuse it. Absolutely refuse it. So that's the first choice. And then the second choice is to only think loving and abundant and loving thoughts that are true about you. When you catch yourself being negative, put a bracelet on one hand and take the bracelet and then put it on the other hand when you catch yourself and go, oops, that wasn't very nice. And begin again. And begin again, and be loving and gentle and kind to yourself. What happens when you do that? You do it for yourself, and you also do it for other people, because suddenly what happens is if you refuse to judge yourself, you automatically refuse to judge others.
Absolutely, because all judgment is self-judgment, right? So, and that is something that I learned from one of my coaches, Becky, and she's been on this show, so you've seen her, and in my audience, right? So that is the absolute truth. And I love what you said, that people will say to you, but you don't know how hard it is. But one thing I want to offer as well, if you believe that it will be hard, it will be hard. But if you believe that it will be fun, I'm going to make it a game, I'm going to make it fun, I'm going to play with it, it's going to be playful, it's not going to be, oh, I thought this negative thought again. No, it's going to be without judgment. Is like, oh, interesting. I just noticed I just thought this. Okay, let's move my bracelet on another hand, right? So it's a different energy. And if you believe that you can create, the fun games that will help you to move to that next level of being more connected with consciousness, to the source, to the God, to whatever is the face, whatever it is that you believe, then it will be easy. But if you believe it's hard, it will be hard, right?
Exactly.
So it will be hard.
Exactly. Brilliant. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, totally, totally. So that's amazing. So Cornelia, tell us a little bit more about, I know that you do a lot of work with consciousness and you coaching, and who do you normally work with? I'm just really curious of what kind of clientele you're working with, and maybe share your favorite transformation of, without sharing names or anything else, but we love all our clients, but sometimes there is one transformation or another. It could be many, but they could be favorite for many different reasons. So if you can just share, it would be awesome.
Wow. So I work with, I mentor women. So I mentor young women, millennial women. I mentor them to really fully trust who they are. And so this is just something that I do naturally on the side kind of thing. And then I work with women to co-host together with me on the radio, and so that they can bring their message, that they can bring their gift, and that they can bring their whatever it is that they are offering to the world. If they're a speaker, or if they have a product, if they have a service, they're an entrepreneur and they want to bring their message out. So once these women start working with me, what happens is they step into their authority, and they step into their voice, they step into their passion, and that changes their financial life. It changes their relationships, because what's happening when they begin working with me is everything within their inner being is lining up because of the work that I've done for myself. And I'm sure that you can relate to this, Katya, is that when we work with our clients, we hold the bar so high. And when we hold that bar high, that these people that are now coming in, they also then can just unfold into their unique self and then bring their gifts out to the world. And the thing is that we didn't come here to be poor. We did not come here to be poor. We came here to thrive. We came here to thrive. The past of the poverty consciousness and the lack consciousness and all of that, those days are over. And it's absolutely imperative that we don't raise women, any women in our circles, to be more poverty statistics, because it's time for women to really, women are queens. They're queens, and they have so much to share with each other, that when they work with me, is that their divine truth, their entrepreneur, their badass self comes to the table, and then we provide a wonderful platform for them to shine. That's one way. Or if women work with me privately on coaching, that's also the thing. So they might just have emotional core wounds to heal from the past that they want to make peace with, and working together with me, it is doesn't take a long time. So that's also another thing. And then there's women that want to clean up their financial life and really release the lack and consciousness, and clean up their, make peace with their past, because many of us were born into a blueprint of financial suffering. And to really transcend that and clean that up, and then have a new blueprint, which is a wealthy entrepreneur. And so I have a women's mastermind that I lead, that's called Wealthy Roots for Women, where I coach and I teach many women that how to embody that wealthy root, and that meets once a month. So there's just so many ways that I get to do what it is that I'm doing. And it's because I've learned how to do it for myself. And my job was to put it into practical application. Everything that I've learned to do, which if any of you know astrology, Saturn, the energy of Saturn is literally, putting everything into practical application. So I've put it into practical application, and I have these resources that I use, and then I'm able to support the people that are ready to live their greatest human potential now, not a year from now, not, but now, and really make those changes. The women that come to me are the ones that are really ready to take on their full authority, to take on their greatest human potential, to take on their full power, because that's what I've done for myself. And that bar is high. So you asked for a transformation story. It just reminds me of the bar. Just last week, I was with a woman, and she said to me that one of the things that has really helped her right now is the part that I'm holding the bar so high, because she had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And she doubted herself, and doubted in her beliefs, and doubted in her abilities, and even doubted her faith, and doubted. And doubt is the biggest dream killer for all of us. Doubt is something that holds so many entrepreneurs back from really, really thriving in abundance. It really is. And so she said to me, thank you so much for holding that bar so high so that I can rise up into it myself and now, live that part out. This just happened a few days ago. So this is the most recent one.
Yeah.
And, it's beautiful, gives me the chills. And then just another one, the other day, I get an instant text message from another woman that says to me, I've never had anybody like you that stood up for me, that heard me, that I can collaborate with like this. I never had anyone like you. And she cried. So these are just over the last week of success stories, that feel really good. And that when I hear stories like that, to me, that's what it's all about. And a lot of these women, they didn't have a message. They didn't have their website. They didn't have their shit together. They didn't have it. And some of them didn't even have the money. But because they chose and made a decision that I want to get this handled and I want to get this done, I want to rise into my greatest life. I want to lay down a legacy that I can be proud of, that represents the truth and core of my being, not my conditioning, not my family, not the people, but what I believe, what I want to stand for, what I know to be true. That's what it's about.
Yeah. So, and let's talk about that. Here's another elephant. Okay. So we're talking about a couple of elephants today. I love it. I can't afford it.
Oh.
So let's talk about it.
Good. I can't afford it. That's exactly, well, like you said it earlier, if you say, I can't afford it, then you can't afford it, right? Because you are prophesizing your own reality. Just that right there, that's a consciousness statement right there. If we just left it there and didn't say anything else, that would be enough. But let's talk about it more, right? So
let's talk about it more. Yeah.
Let's talk about it more. So it gives me the chills. So, which is so true. So I can't afford it. So I can afford it. I can afford it. I will afford it. I will absolutely 100% afford this. The storyline of that I can't afford it, I'm not going to tell that story anymore. That used to be me. And now I can afford it. Women are amazing with money. Women are resourceful. They are so super resourceful. But the part is women have given their power away to those beliefs, those thoughts that we think over and over and over again until they become our reality, that I can't afford it. The thing is, when you realize how absolutely resourceful you are, and when you make a choice and a decision to absolutely afford it, to invest in yourself, there's a big piece about this investment piece that I want to say, and that is, invest in yourself. The same way that someone would go to college and pay $100,000 for an education that takes them years and years and years and years to pay off. And also it takes a while to see that investment pay off. Some of the people don't even, once they get done with their education, don't even follow that dream anymore. It's absolutely essential that you invest in yourself, that you invest in your dream, that you speak the language of, I am worthy, I can afford it, I have the resources, the universe will match me, I will find it because I want this for myself.
Okay, and I'm going to be devil's advocate here. I'm loving this. Okay, we're going to challenge Kornelia right now. So, Kornelia, here is my bank account. I have zero. I have zero in my account. I really can't, I really want to work with you, but fact is zero, right? So, and everything that I bring right now is already aligned with my bills. I have to pay for my roof over my head. I have to pay for my food and all of that stuff. So I don't believe that I can afford it.
Yeah. So you said it already. I don't believe. So we would first work on, in the communication. This has happened time and time again. So just recently started working with somebody that had exactly these beliefs. So I can easily tell you this. The person said, I don't have the money. As a matter of fact, this person was working for a homeless shelter and was just bringing in the minimum wage kind of money in order to pay for her life, in order to survive. Yeah. And so then I came along, and then now it's time for her to invest in herself. And so when she was open to shifting her belief system that, yeah, I want this, I want to change my belief that I can afford it, I'm willing to do that, and I'm willing to look at this. Once you make that choice, then all of a sudden, the universe lines up different realities for you, different trajectories line up, and then you all of a sudden will find ways. The universe will all of a sudden send you money from other places that you didn't know you had before. Be willing to ask the people, whoever that you're talking to about, I can't afford it, would they be willing to take a down payment? Will they be willing to work with you on as far as the money? Whatever that is, it's part of that collaboration, and it's part of the way for you to really jumpstart your financial liberation. It's like that whole thing, of walking around in the spiral of evolution. I can't afford it, I never will, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough, I never will. When you're walking around like that, that's what you're going to create. But when you then walk in that spiral, and then someone comes along and is offering you an opportunity that is of integrity, because that's another big important piece, is there's a lot of people out there selling a lot of things. And we really want to make sure that it is something that is integrity, that is really going to support your soul, right? Really people that support you. When there's something exciting, man, I wish I could afford this. I really wish I could. So the way to change a belief system, I'm going to tell your audience right now, the belief that I can't afford it. The belief, it's a belief. And what are beliefs? Beliefs are thoughts that we thought over and over and over and over and over again. And now they're a subconscious belief in the brain. And it was brought to us by our conditioning between the ages of 0 and 7. When we are vulnerable, we're open to all the influence of our parents, our teachers, our communities. That's when that belief became installed. I can't afford it. And then we raised our children to say, you can't afford it. You can't afford it. Then we programmed and started raising more poverty statistics of I can't afford it. So if you can consider that you could, so the way to change a belief is, could you, Katya, consider the possibility? Could you consider the possibility of that you can?
I sure can consider that possibility, absolutely.
Okay, so as soon as you said, I sure can, what happened is the wall of resistance just came down. Mm-hmm. And now we have an opening. And now we can really look at installing a new belief, a new belief that you now want to go for. I can afford it. I can afford it. I'm considering that I can. And I'm considering this.
I'm resourceful, right? Like you were saying, I'm resourceful. And another thing is like what you were saying about the beliefs, right? So When we fight for our limitations, we will stay in our limitations. And it amazes me how many women specifically, because I'm predominantly working with women, will fight for their limitations. What if you can start fighting for possibilities? What if you start really breaking down those walls and say, okay, maybe even with a simple one, changing how can I afford it?
Yeah.
What can I do? Where can I bring this income, right? So is there anything I can look at? What is important to me? What am I spending money right now that I'm spending foolishly? Maybe I can cut on something because investment is in myself is so important. And like Kornelia said, is talk to the person who you really want to work with, right? So, and ask them, is there a possibility maybe breaking it down in monthly payment? Is there a possibility of, doing installments or anything like that? If, and think about back in your history when you wanted something badly, you got it. It
Exactly.
doesn't matter how much it costs. You actually would get what you want something badly. So the question is, really make this decision. Do you really want this change? Do you want the business of your dreams? Do you want to live in bliss? Do you want to live of the life of pleasure, right? So do you want to really live that vision that you created for yourself, for your business and life? Or you really don't want it, right? So you either want it or don't.
I actually feel that when people say I can't afford it, it's a sabotage. It's a sabotage from the past that keeps them locked in and creating the same story. And so that's why it's really important, like you said, Katya, to stand up and fight for the possibility, then fight for the limitation. And really, truly, that is the new earth. It's in the new earth to rise up into our highest human potential, and that is a thriving environment. We have to be the ones that have to fight for that have to be honoring in that, because it doesn't fit in our spiritual integrity, in our integrity to be poor or to be in lack. It does not fit. So if that is happening in your movie, just making the choice and the decision to change that, I'm done with that. I'm going for the gold. I'm going for the possibility. I'm going for the greatest. I'm going for having it all. Having it all, having it all. I mean, just that feeling alone, and is it going to happen overnight? No, it's going to take work. It's going to take work, but there's people out there that are willing to work with you. When I had a woman that was in this exact position, she didn't have the money to begin working with me, but she had a great message and she had a great product. And so, but because she told me that she's willing and that we're going to do it, she's going to do it. What ended up happening is she ended up getting a check that came from like an ex or something that was due to her that she had totally forgotten all about, and the check ended up paying for the entire thing. So it's really what happens when you say yes, and when you say I really want this. That's when things are going to change.
Yes,
right?
I'll figure it out. I made a decision. I'm fully in and I'm figuring it out. So that is like so common, and thank you for being open about that. As I said, we opened some, brought some elephants out here today. But also I want to talk about other side as well. And I want to know your opinion, because there could be another side of this coin when people will just throw money at the problem, but they don't really willing to go all in and invest themselves and really commit to do that. Because I see that as well, right? So I see a lot of, especially beginner entrepreneurs, they would just, I call it throw money at the problem. I'll buy another course. I'll buy another, shiny objects, like a miracle pill will appear and will fix all of their internal problems and their limiting beliefs on its own with that next course. So what would you advise for those people who tend to, like I say, throw money at the problem, buy the next course, and then get really disappointed because nothing working?
Yeah, and I really have to say something about the nothing working. The nothing working is really the person. It's really, that's the thing, is that we, it's again another form of sabotage. It's a form of sabotage where we buy something, we throw money at it, we buy it, and then we're not all in, and we're not committed. And so what I would say to those people is that from this day forward, forget about the past, because it's all over, it's past, it's done. From this day forward, decide and choose that this investment that you're going to make in whatever course or product you're going to purchase, that it is the highest and best in an alignment for you, and that you will be all in, meaning that you're 100% committed to seeing it through. Because you know what, Katya, I'm going to tell you a little secret, that I find that even people with my 21-day challenge don't complete the program. $21, 21 days. I see them go half in. They will go up to like maybe day 10. Or in the meantime, this is the greatest thing. This is the greatest thing. This is the greatest thing. And then somewhere between day 10, day 12, day 15, boom, done. So that is a form of sabotage. When we cannot change something we don't acknowledge.
Yeah.
Acknowledging a behavior. It's a behavior. It's a behavior. It's something that we've done. And forgive yourself. By all means, forgive yourself. Don't hold yourself in contempt. But say, from now on, from this day forward, I'm going to go all in. And by golly, I'm going to finish this all the way. I'm going to give this my best shot. I'm going to go all in, and I'm going to complete this. It is your own integrity that you are showing yourself, because it's not the coach that you're letting down, it's not the product, it's not the angels, it's not source, it's not your faith, it's you. And so that's the main thing, is that decide from now on that you will never abandon yourself again with something that you put money to. Money, time, love, energy, your commitment, your value that you bring into the whole, your unique essence that's so valuable to on this planet that we really need. And if you're investing in a coaching program, or you're investing in an entrepreneur program or something, then by gosh, stay committed to the process and do the work that it's required to do, and release the sabotage. Retire the saboteur.
I love that. Retire the saboteur. And I love what you touched on. And I know I want to be respectful of your time as well. So we're almost running almost at an hour right now. And I love what you were talking about, self-integrity. And I have to tell you that there is something that I realized last year, is that integrity is one of my top core values. And last year, I realized that I absolutely integral to everyone around me. And if I say I'll do something, I'll follow through. But I realized that I was about 50-50 on my own word, to myself, not to somebody else. And that one piece changed so much right now. I'm still not perfect. I'm a human being. I'm not a robot. But that one piece, small piece, changed so much when you realize is that why is that I'm putting everyone else above me, and my word to myself is not important. So that piece of self-integrity is huge. And it is a self-sabotage, and it's a patterns. And this is why it's important for everyone to find a mentor, find a coach, find somebody to work with, because you cannot see your own blind spots unless you know the tools that you can actually learn, and you can start seeing your own patterns. You will not be able to get out of it, because I'm sure that few of you who is watching and listening right now is that you can probably relate. You can probably ask yourself, why is it that I'm doing this over and over again? I told that I'll never do it again. And I do it again and again, because that's a pattern. And when you notice it, and it's hard for yourself if you don't know the tools, how to notice those patterns. But when you start working on your growth, when you start working with somebody, this is where it's the biggest gift, because you learn all of those tools and you can continue implement them and use them for the rest of your life.
Yeah, this is so true. And I just want to, again, thank you for your courage, for speaking openly and vulnerably about, your own discovery of the pattern and the habitual behavior where you were putting others before your own word and your own worth. And it really is related to all of us, right? Always looking outside of ourselves and people pleasing other people first, instead of looking inside and saying, where am I not honoring myself? Where am I not being true to my word? Where am I over committing to all of these things, right? Instead of really taking good care of myself and honoring my word. Like basically put your money where your mouth is, and be able to take it to the bank. Being able to take it to the bank. Like that's one of, if you ask me, what is my greatest virtue? That is that. It is that I am a woman of my word, and that I am a woman of integrity. And that has been hard earned because it has been, I've fallen many, many times in this, but the spiritual integrity is absolutely utmost, because that is the piece that at the end of the day, in any moment, at any time, that you can always, always rely on.
Totally. And we're talking about self-integrity and owning your own word. When you said that you promised to yourself that you're going to finish this 21-day challenge, and you actually fall through and you finish it, the miracles happen, because not only that you will learn the tools, not only that you will change your thoughts and you'll learn how to really reframe your thinking and everything else. That's only a small part. It's a big, but it's small. But one of the miracles that will happen, it will give you such an incredible confidence. You will know that, oh my God, if I had this, I finished it. It's a different feeling, and that feeling will carry you forward with growing and evolving in your business, in your life, spiritually, in whatever way you want to grow on this earth as a human being, right? So
you're so awesome. Yes, you're so amazing. Absolutely. Adore you. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. Please let our audience, first of all, share this challenge. You can definitely put it in the comment after, or send it to me. I'll put it above. And, I would love for people to participate and really start, especially like you were saying. It's interesting. I just had a coaching call today in my membership, and we had talked with somebody about I'm not good enough. We were digging deep of the certain things and patterns, why there was things happening. And it came down to I'm not good enough. Right. So, and I know that this challenge will help so many people. So please do share with them, and also let them know where they can find you. What is the best way? Is it a Facebook, Instagram, your website? What is the best way to find you?
Awesome. I just want to say one thing about the I'm not good enough. I want to give you a distinction. Can I do that? Do I have
Absolutely. Enough time? Oh, yeah. You have as much time as you want. Okay. I just wanted to respect your time.
Oh, thank you. So I just want to say, so when the person doesn't feel not good enough, it generally happens when there's an event that occurs where either you're having to go apply for a new job, and you're feeling not good enough to go apply for it, or you're or you're going into a new relationship and you're kind of feeling like I don't feel good enough. Or you want to be this entrepreneur and you're collaborating and you're getting this gig or a speaking gig and I don't feel good enough. So an event is occurring that is happening, and it is triggering within your body those feelings of I'm not good enough that are directly related to I'm not worthy. So because this event is the catalyst, and it's happening so that you can release the feelings of not good enough, because you want to claim the I am worthy, because that's the truth. Because if you were to look up on Google and you would look up and you would say, what does I am worthy mean? What does worthy mean? You will be surprised to find that worthy means value and respect. Those two things, value and respect. Now, can you imagine that you don't have any value and that you don't deserve any respect? Can you imagine that that's true? because the truth is that you are valuable and that you do deserve respect. And this is what I mean by consciousness. This is conscious. When you bring that conscious awareness into it, it's like, why am I making decisions based on I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough? I'm releasing the not good enough to claim my worth and to claim my value. Because even a little baby that's 6 months old, the baby hasn't written a book, the baby hasn't gone to college, the baby hasn't gotten married, the baby hasn't earned 7 figures, the baby isn't an entrepreneur, hasn't done anything. That baby deserves value, honor, and respect. And you are absolutely one and the same. And my 21-day challenge helps you claim your I am worthy for 21 days because it's part of that. It's part of that whole process.
Yeah.
In my own work, you know, back when I had the realization of everything that I'm talking about now, I remembered I was sitting in my morning meditation, and I was sitting there, and a tear was flowing down my cheek. And I was sitting in meditation because I had the realization that I cannot believe that I used to have a thought that was attached to a belief, that was attached to an emotional core wound, that I'm not worthy, and that I used to make choices and decisions that reflected that belief. And so the 21-day challenge is no negative self-talk for 21 days. And we want to make choices and decisions, have thoughts that I am worthy, I am valuable, I am deserving. That's attached to that emotional core, not wound, but emotional core. And that you're making choices and decisions that reflect that belief, because that's the truth of who you are. That's the truth. Everything else is a lie. That is all a lie. And that's all we have to release our humanity, the suffering and all the stuff that we were born into. I always say that we have just completed a cycle, a cycle, a 46,000 year cycle of living everything that we are not. And we are just now, beginning now, 2020, now beginning to live and experience everything that we are, a brand new cycle. And can you imagine if all the beings in the world would vibrate and act on a frequency of I am worthy, I am loved? And can you imagine what we can do as a whole on this planet? And so that's the thing. But it starts with each individual. So the way that you can find out more about my work is you can go to KorneliaStephanie.com, Kornelia with a K, Kornelia, Stephanie with a PH, www.KorneliaStephanie.com. That's my website. And then if you like this kind of information, I have a podcast on Transformation Talk Radio. Every Friday, I bring on leading edge entrepreneurs. There's 3 platforms that I have. One is called Heaven on Earth, Living Our Heaven on Earth. That time is now because the earth is already here and heaven is a state of consciousness. We just want to let the old self die away so that we can live heaven on earth here today. What does heaven on earth mean to you? I have another show called The Millionaire Imprint for Women, and that is to heal the consciousness and the shame of poverty consciousness that women have had to deal with for centuries. That's another one. And then there is Lady Boss. Lady Boss is leading edge entrepreneurs that are here to bring their unique essence and their gifts out to the world and, share their magic with the world. That's on Fridays at 12 noon Pacific time, Transformation Talk Radio. You can look at the Transformation Talk Radio Facebook page that's live all the time over there. You can do that, or you can go to your favorite podcast app and type in Kornelia Stephanie, and you can get my podcast that way. Or if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, go to Kornelia Stephanie YouTube. Every time when I do a podcast, it's always live, so you can see us, and I bring other people on, and which I want to have you on, Katya, and you're coming. We already talked about that. And you can subscribe to the YouTube channel there, and that's always letting you know when we have a new video out. And so, you know, we're here to make the world a better place. That's our purpose and reason for living this life. We came here to, you know, work miracles into being, to be miracle workers, because truly that's what we are. You know, many of us had to overcome so much trauma, so much abuse, so much neglect, and everything can be loved free, and we can really truly nurture ourselves, love ourselves back into wholeness, and live the truth of we are.
Thank you so much. I can't finish better than this. It was amazing to have you. You know, it's been fate that put us together somehow, and it's been my pleasure having you, and absolutely we'll stay in touch. And thank you for giving so generously, for really pouring your soul and talking about the topics that a lot of people don't want to talk. But most importantly, thank you for showing up just you are, real, raw, with no filters. And thank you for being here. Okay. I will talk to you soon. Okay.